Welcome to the Movies to Watch Before You Die podcast. I'm your host, Dylan, along with my cousin and co-host,
Gab.
And today we're talking about a movie I've nominated as one to watch before you die, 2025's Heart Eyes. Gab, since this episode is coming out on Valentine's Day, or very close to it, did it get you in a Valentine's mood?
Not even a little bit.
Well, you might still have liked it. I can hope. I can dream. Gab, what was Heart Eyes about?
What's this all been about? What am I working toward?
Explain! As you would a child.
You think you know everything about me, don't you?
I bet you're bottom. I bloody well ought to.
Heart Eyes was a movie about a serial killer who hunts down couples on Valentine's Day and a newly formed couple that must escape him.
I think that kind of does a better job than the IMDb description. I think we finally did it.
Wow.
Although I think it's very important that at the beginning of the movie, they are not a couple. We'll get into spoilers, obviously. But do you want to hear the IMDb plot summary?
I do.
Because it feels like grammatically something's wrong here. When two coworkers have to survive the Heart Eyes killer on Valentine's Day, the two have to find out who it is.
That doesn't work for me.
Also, I don't feel like they have to find out who the Heart Eyes killer is. I feel like they have to defeat the Heart Eyes killer.
Yeah.
The good news is, though, I only have one tagline for you.
Oh, great. What is it?
Romance is dead.
Oh, I could have seen that coming from a mile away.
I think it's a cute tagline, though.
Yeah, it's okay. You know, I've heard worse.
I do think there were several lines in the movie that I wrote down that would have been better taglines, though. Can I give you, like, a couple?
Please.
This is more than just a simple murder. It's a kink.
Okay.
Everybody's got a fetish.
Okay.
Murdering couples is our kink.
Uh-huh.
I think that's it. I think that's all the ones I wrote down. But I thought those also would have worked. But I think Romance is Dead is good.
Yeah, I think those lean a little too heavily away from the direction of the movie. I think that's like a component of the movie, but I think that only leans into the weirdness. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's also, I guess, maybe a little too much from the killer's point of view more than the couple's point of view.
Yes. Yeah. That's a much better way of saying that.
I also think you can't use this as a tagline, but for my plot summary in general, before we get into our opinions, I really feel like this movie is just Friday the 13th kind of meets Sleepless in Seattle.
I literally want to get you checked out by a doctor for what you just said.
It is literally, obviously, it's set in Seattle, and it is similar in the sense of it's somebody coming to sort of take somebody else's job, and they sort of that is their meet cute type scenario.
Okay, so what you're referring to is not Sleepless in Seattle.
Am I referring to You've Got Mail?
You are referring to You've Got Mail.
I mixed up my Efrons. Oh, man.
Oh, that's embarrassing, Dylan.
Oh, it is Friday the 13th mixed with Sleepless in Seattle mixed with You've Got Mail.
Yeah, because it's set in Seattle. Listen, I would sooner say that this is a Hallmark Christmas movie crossed with a bad Netflix horror film.
Well, that felt like an opinion. So why don't we go into our opinions and we'll discuss that more.
In this critic's opinion,
You know, that's just like your opinion, man.
Well, I have a right to my opinion, and my opinion is you have no right to your opinion.
So I'm already going to take it that you did not like this movie.
I didn't say that.
I'm feeling the lean, but we'll see. Maybe you'll surprise me. Can you at least admit, don't Olivia Holt and Mason Gooding have such chemistry together?
Yeah, I think so. I think he did a better job than she did. Like,
I would agree with
she
that.
came across to me a little young, a little immature, and I think he was very charming and felt age appropriate. I think she would probably have made a little bit more sense in like a Nickelodeon, like one of those teen shows like Victorious or iCarly.
You think
know
she
what I
came
mean?
across that young?
No. I just think like there were older people in those shows, right? Like iCarly had an older brother who was like in his late 20s. I think she could have done a better job on a show like that.
Okay. Definitely doesn't feel like a compliment, but fair enough.
Stop trying to figure out whether or not I liked it based on my opinions.
Fine. I'm just going to ignore your opinions then. I do feel like though the Friday the 13th thing is probably more accurate, obviously, than the You Got Mail, because it's sort of a I appreciate the fact that this does feel like a Hallmark romance, but then we're mixing a full-on slasher into it. I think that that's what makes the movie to me is the cute mix of the two things that shouldn't work together. And I think I heard
Sure.
the director talking about like, oh, if we made a sequel, there I keep thinking about what romance movie could I put a murderer in? And I'm like, I think that's a fun idea.
Yeah. Now I am no expert on slasher films, but from your experience in the genre, do you feel like this villain was fleshed out enough to be scary or effective?
I think so because I think the biggest thing about a lot of slasher villains is usually just appearance and mystique. And to me, it really is like if you look at Friday the 13th Part 2, which is where Jason first actually appears, it's not like there's that much to him. There's we don't
Yeah,
emotionally connect with Jason in any way. You know, if you look at Halloween, the whole point is that there is no emotion to connect to on Michael Myers. We get
right.
more exploration of them because there's been 10 of those movies. But I think there was enough of the Heart Eyes Killer here. Just in the mask, I think is so cool with the actual heart eyes that light up red when he has his night vision going on. And he's got his little daggers that have hearts on the end of them type thing and his little crossbow gun. Like, I thought there was enough there for me for like, oh,
Sure.
this could be a cool. If the movie had been bigger, had a bigger marketing budget, I could have seen them putting him in Fortnite or some crap like that. Because I do think there
Yeah.
was appeal there in the design. Because that's the first thing about any horror villain is does it look cool enough? The grabber
Yeah.
from the Black Phone movies was in Fortnite, and the whole thing about him is he's like a child diddler. Like I'm like, we probably shouldn't be putting this guy in the kids game, but okay.
Yeah, he is ultimately in the Epstein files. Um
As is barely
I
everyone with any power. Yes.
Yes. Um, I do think there was a lot of really good Cupid imagery with him. Obviously, it was really leaning into this Valentine's Day thing. He's a killer that goes after couples. We start to get the idea that he's some kind of disgruntled lover. Maybe he's been scorned by a previous lover, whatever. I want to talk a little bit about the opening scene because
The
we're introduced
winery
to him.
proposal.
Yes. We're introduced to Hard Eyes as he is going after a couple that is staging, for all intents and purposes, their engagement. So we see this beautiful scene. We see this man proposing to his girlfriend. The girlfriend is mouthing the words that he is saying while he's proposing, as if it's a script that she has written. Everything is designed exactly the way that she wants it. There's a photographer. He doesn't get the shot, so they have to do it again. And then we see them brutally murdered by Hard Eyes. And what it seemed to me was happening was that this killer was going after couples who were maybe not what's the word I'm looking for? They were not like truly in
Genuine,
love.
authentic.
Yeah, they were feigning their relationship for social media. They were, everything was very staged for the purposes of like, clicks and likes and views and whatnot. And so originally I thought, okay, this is going to be cool. He's going to be going after people who are making a mockery of love, right? And I was a little disappointed that that wound up not being the case. It really wasn't that deep. He was just going after couples.
I could totally see your version of it, and your version of it, I think, could have maybe a more complex villain underneath that has somebody who thought they were genuinely in love and got scorned or something like that. I think what I do like about this version is it gives you the thing about a slasher is you need slashing. Like it can't just be going
Right.
after one inauthentic couple and then is our main characters going to have to be a very inauthentic couple because that doesn't work as much. Which
Well,
the
here's
irony
what
is
I
they are an
expected.
inauthentic couple, but go on.
Sure. Well, what I expected was that he was going to be going after them. So, listener, if you haven't seen the movie, these two people meet almost immediately before the killer comes into their atmosphere. They are
Not
forced to
true.
work together. Okay, then why don't you tell them?
They meet the same day, but they have their initial meet cute at the Starbucks where they have the same
Okay.
coffee order. And I do love the moment where like they're reacting like, oh my God, who else makes this coffee order? And the barista's like, it's actually very popular. Please move along. We're busy. They
Yeah.
accidentally
Ha
headbutt
ha
each
ha.
other a couple times. They go to work and find out that Jay is there to clean up the mess that Olivia Holt's character, Allie, her character has run a terrible ad campaign about doomed lovers and romance with death. And when the Hard Eyes Killer is on the loose, it's not a great ad campaign. And so she's
All of
basically
this is
replacing his job.
unnecessary
They
information.
have to that night. No, it's literally why they have to. Oh my God. But I shouldn't assume your opinion as you're waving me along. But they have to that night solve things because he needs to leave the next day. He is there to solve the ad campaign with her.
Right. So that just further proves my point, which I said in a much more concise way, which is that they met very very soon before the killer comes into their atmosphere. They have not known each other for a long time, but they are, it may be, will they, won't they? It's a little flirty. You don't know what's going to happen. They seem like they're like a good match. Is he flirting with her? Is she flirting back? They run into her ex and they kiss to sort of like make it look like, she's got a date on Valentine's Day, so she isn't embarrassed. It doesn't matter. What ends up happening in my version is that the killer is coming after them because he believes they're an inauthentic couple. And then eventually he can't kill them because they are an authentic couple. And they fall in love and they realize that they're, you see where I'm going with this. I think that's a way better version of this. Your ending seems way
dumber when the killer's like, I bless this relationship and I leave you now to kill others.
Well, who knows? No, but who knows, right? Maybe there's something that he's paralyzed or he tries to kill them and the arrow doesn't work. Like, I think that would be cool. He's killing people literally with Cupid's arrow. It's going through their skull. Maybe he shoots them with the arrow and it just bounces off of them. We're talking about a movie that is mimicking a Hallmark romance. Like, let it be cheesy. That's the point.
I think it is cheesy, though. But I think conceptually what he's really attacking is PDA. Like, he's attacking we find out that the couple that initially Hard Eyes is after is Allie's ex-boyfriend, who was supposed to be at the restaurant with the other couple that got killed earlier in the day at the spa. But because Allie and Jay share this fake passionate kiss, the Hard Eyes Killer notices their chemistry and is like, they gotta go. And I think I like that better. The only thing that doesn't work about your version is that we have to have either just more killer point of view because the killer we have to be seeing the killer somehow not realizing they're authentic.
No, we don't. No, mine's better.
Yours throws out the cheesy romance too much, I think, because yours becomes too killer centered rather than couple centered. Because the whole point is it's funny too about the couple not trying to keep saying we're not a couple. And then I love that literally they'll be in the middle of getting chased. They'll have a second to breathe where like they dove out a window and they land on top of each other and they're like, maybe we'll kiss. And then the killer is like right back and it's like, oh yeah, wait, we're in the middle of getting chased by a slasher. And your version also doesn't get scenes like the drive-in, which is maybe my favorite part of this whole movie, where they literally say, they're like, oh my God, we brought the couple killer to a place filled with couples as he's just going to town on the smorgasbord. You don't get enough slashing because he's vetting them to see if they're authentic or not to him?
No, because think about it, Dill. Like maybe 50% of the couples at the drive-in are inauthentic. Like
how do we know that, Gab?
I don't know. He just knows somehow. I don't know, Dylan. I'm just saying it doesn't. This movie does not have to be filled with infallible logic.
It has to be just filled with a logic, though, and yours puts it too much in like we have to follow the killer's point of view as he's marking his criteria of like.
No, I don't think so.
Yes, because your version requires that he understands something about them, and the killer doesn't care. The killer just wants to kill couples.
Why can't it be magic? Why can't he shoot his arrow? And if you're really in love, it doesn't do anything to you. Maybe if you're really in love, you don't see him, right? Isn't there a whole thing with like Jason where he's in your dreams? What if you don't have good REM sleep patterns? Then
that's
you never
Freddy
see
Krueger,
him.
Gab.
Whatever.
And no, you can have micro dreams with Freddy Krueger in them, even if you're getting terrible sleep.
I don't think so, Dylan. You need all the stages of sleep in order to dream. Listen, all I'm saying is I think it would have been way cuter if they're like, we're not a couple, and he can't kill them because they actually are meant to be a couple. And then, the rest ensues. Listen, whatever. I just think you're an idiot.
Well, the feeling is mutual. Were you at all thrown for like, were you trying to figure out who the killer was, and did you assume it was anybody wrongly? Like,
I
did
will
you
tell
think you
you
knew the
this.
twist and thought it was? They make it seem like it might be Jay for a time.
I knew who it was the moment they came onto the screen.
Really, full
Yes,
spoilers. You knew the IT guy was one of the Hard Eyes killers,
I knew it.
and you knew that only one of the detectives was one of the Hard Eyes killers.
No, the one being a detective was unclear to
Oh, well,
me.
that's the bigger deal. You're acting like you knew the whole twist. So the IT guy you caught as a killer instantly, though?
Instantly.
Because
I
I
was
thought
like,
it was
this
funny
is
when he
this is
comes
the guy.
back, because you're like, oh, he did not matter at all.
Well, when he comes back into the police station, that's when I definitely knew
What do
it
you mean
was
when he
him.
comes back? He's only in the police station that one time, and then
Whatever. That's what I mean. He like when he's in the police station and he's like talking to her and he goes into the closet and whatever, I was like, this is him.
okay.
I said, the Asian guy is the killer. Quote unquote. Out loud. Ask Corey.
Okay. So you never thought it was Jay for a second, though.
I think initially Corey did. Corey was like, I think he's the killer. And I was like,
I do like, and I don't know, I'm gonna assume not, but the movie does make me laugh a couple times too, because it's horror, romance, comedy. And I think one part I find particularly funny is when Jay is getting arrested, and that's when he's finally like stops being nice with Allie at all. And she ditches him when he gets knocked out by the killer. She doesn't know if he's been murdered or not. And when she sees him, she goes, well, I'm sorry, I was being chased by a serial killer. And I can't remember his exact words. He says something like, I know, I also was being chased by a serial killer. I don't know. Mason
yeah.
Gooding, I think his performance alone delivers a lot to this movie.
Yeah, he did a really, really good job. I like him. Is he in anything else? I know we'll get to this later, but
We will get to that later. The big things that, like, the two biggest things is the more recent Scream movies, Scream 5 and 6, he was a part of.
it's such a shame to me when a decent actor, especially one who's like good looking and talented, gets caught in this horror movie, like just this loop where you do enough horror movies and you won't get hired for anything else.
I think he does plenty of non-horror stuff, but I also think that you're too cruel to horror. I think there's a lot of great horror movies and there's a lot of great horror actors.
Okay. Well, anyway, um, I
Sigourney Weaver made her name off of horror.
sure. Well, no, I mean, she was named that, and then something was bound to happen with her because whose name is Sigourney Weaver? But
Toni Collette.
I don't know who that is.
You don't know Toni Collette? Google Toni Collette right now. You know Toni Collette.
I know the name, but I'm just saying, like,
Hereditary, The Sixth Sense. Obviously, she did a lot of stuff between that. United States of Terror.
oh, I know the United States of Terror. Oh,
really?
she's in Wayward. Dylan, have you attempted to watch Wayward?
Is that the one on Netflix? I feel like I heard it was really bad.
Yeah. Oh my God. So Corey has a client named Monica. We love Monica. Monica is amazing. Monica is from Italy. So English is not her first language. And Monica told us, I've been watching Wayward. It's so good. You have to watch it. We watched like 3 episodes and we were like, I can absolutely see how someone who doesn't necessarily have a firm grasp on English would think this is good, but it is not.
She's like the evil principal or something, right? Toni Collette.
Yeah. And it is just like it's one of those things, and this actually is a good segue into going back to the movie because I think this happened quite a bit in the movie. It's one of those TV shows, like a horror type of TV show, where they're like wrestling over a knife and somehow no one gets cut with it. And it's like you were inches from one another. Like you should at least have slashes, even if it didn't like penetrate your organs. You know what I mean? And I think that does happen in this movie where there's a lot of really close encounters with some really wicked weapons and like people don't get hurt. Like there are so many close quarters with a machete and no one is getting hurt.
Well, you mean just our main characters, right? And that's because, I mean, obviously plot armor is a thing. They do get cut up a good amount, though. Like, particularly Mason Gooding gets slashed a bunch of times. But that's why it's a slasher movie. We need them to survive to the end. That's why you have people to talk about one particular kill. Well, two. Can we talk about the tire iron at the drive-in?
We can.
To me, I want to praise the effects of it first and foremost. That Heart Eyes drives a tire iron through somebody's head they're laying down in a car. He drives it down on the head of the guy on the car. So the other end is sticking up out of this guy's fucking mouth. And there's a woman on top of him because they were in the middle of sex. and he grabs her head and throws it down on this tire iron too. And then the camera comes up and backs through the hole that is in her head. It like tracks out of it to see that she's dead. And then we see our couple like cool freaking out. Like, come on, that was worth the price of nothing you paid for it alone. Just that
was
shot.
Cool. That was a cool shot. Yeah, that was cool. A side note, and I'm so sorry, but I have to talk about this. Have you seen the TV show on Netflix with Bryan Cranston called Your Honor?
I have not.
Dylan, we were looking for a TV show to watch the other night, and we were like, let's try something, because a lot of times I've seen a bunch of TV shows and I'm like, oh, you would love this, we should watch this. And Corey was like, let's watch something that both of us have never seen. So we're like, Bryan Cranston, sign me up. We put it on. The first 10 minutes of this TV show are a boy, like a high school age boy, going to put like a memorial where his mother seems to have died. And as he's driving away from these like thugs who are trying to beat him up, he accidentally runs over a kid on a motorcycle, sends the kid flying through the street.
Oh,
and then we watch.
Is this a comedy?
For a painstaking like 3 or 4 minutes, we watch this kid. So the driver is this young boy. He's like panicking, right? He's shaking. He doesn't know what to do. And we just watch this young motorcycle man die. And like, his like eyes are filling with blood and he's like and then he starts like vomiting blood everywhere and his body is convulsing and I was like, we have to turn this off. I can't. I'm done. Even Corey was like, this is no. And we turned it off. And so watching Hard Eyes, I was a little bit like still reeling from the Your Honor scene. We watched like 4 minutes of the show and we're like, I can't, like, no, this is not meant for human eyes. And the Epstein files.
Well, we got that's I feel like we were talking about that off camera. Everything now that I'm getting upset with or Gab's getting upset with, are like, well, they got my order wrong at Jersey Mike's today, and the Epstein files got that going on too.
The Epstein files, everything bad that happens, I'm like, and also the Epstein files. But no, I'm gonna send you the scene if I can find it on YouTube. I'm sure from like a cinematic perspective you will appreciate it because the effects are unbelievable. But like, we had to turn it off. I was sick.
There's also such a big difference between drama death versus horror death versus comedy death. And Hard Eyes, there's a lot of horror deaths where it's like, ew, that guy got killed. You know what I mean? It's not supposed to be like you're really feeling the drama of that character dying.
Yeah, it's not like super anatomically correct.
Yeah, like there's some guy at the drive-in who's like, are you the real Hard Eyes killer? Before he just gets stabbed in the gut with a machete. We're not supposed to like weep for that poor boy. We're like, oh shit, it's going down. That's what it is.
Yeah. Now, I have a couple of qualms with that because that person who was murdered, we did not know that he was part of a couple. He seemed to just be a dude. Now, do we have to assume because he was at the drive-in on Valentine's Day that he was part of a couple? Is there not a rule that he has to kill both members of the couple? Like,
I don't think there is a rule that he has to kill both members, but I think he wants to kill both members, and he's at a Valentine's Day drive-in showing of a romantic movie. The presumption is everybody is fair game here.
But what if he was like an employee at the movie theater?
Well, we never see him kill an employee at the movie theater. So
I just feel like there aren't like rules. And obviously, like, spoiler, we know eventually who the killer is and that they're kind of just like doing their thing. But like, I felt a little bit like,
to go back to rules, because I understand you talking about horror movies and rules, because I think rules are very important in a horror movie, but slasher rules also dictate something different. Let's go back to Freddy Krueger, who you were talking about. Freddy Krueger, the first Nightmare on Elm Street comes back to two things. He's going after the children of the parents killed him as a human being. So now he's haunting their children's nightmares and killing them. Now, in future Nightmare on Elm Street movies, he'll kill anyone who's heard of him so he can invade their dreams so we can get some good kills. In Friday the 13th, the first one is about killing the camp employees who let her son die, her son Jason get killed. But once you're in full slasher territory, it's just about kill anybody who gets in the way, because it's also a popcorn flick. We want people to die. That's what you're paying money to see. It's like with Final Destination, there's rules to it, but we also just want to see some deaths.
Sure. Yeah, I get it. I just think like, anytime I hear a rule established, like, oh, he's killing couples, I feel like we should be able to get our kills and get that satisfaction, but the rule should apply. So when he killed that guy, he should have also very quickly killed whoever he was with, just to keep the train on the tracks.
Honestly, that's fair enough. I can
Thank you.
respect that. I also think the important part of the rule, and maybe this could have been a big part of the thing, it's very specifically pointed out that it is on Valentine's Day only. Like they could have been, in that final confrontation at the church at 11:50, and the clock strikes midnight, and they're like, "We're done with you."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Um, I have a few other things to say before we move on. Um, in that very first scene, which I think personally went on a little bit too long, but I also understand that it's a slasher movie, and so there has to be like chasing and fighting and whatever.
Mhm.
We're talking about the scene where the inauthentic couple is doing their engagement and Hard Eyes comes out for the first time. He kills the guy, he's chasing the girl. He chases the girl into what we then learn to be a trash compactor and locks her in there and
That's not
turns
what
it
it
on.
is. It's for pressing grapes for wine, isn't it?
I don't know, but I will tell you this. As soon as the walls started closing in on her, I was like, Star Wars. Seen it already.
Yes, but the whole point is we don't see Luke Skywalker get his head crushed and his eyeball pop out.
No, but I was like, lazy.
I disagree. You could have come up with many other things in horror where people have been crushed too. But I guess I get
Yeah.
your point. Not a trash compactor though. That is a machine that's why we see the liquid turn from white wine to blood. It turns from white to red.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get it. I get it. We were
Perhaps
watching and I said
perhaps
to
it's a bit of
Corey,
a thinker and it's kind of lost on you. Maybe you need to catch up a little bit.
that's so rude. Why would you say that?
I think I was just being rude.
That's so mean. I'm like, I think I thought about it very well. I thought it was a lot like what happens in Star Wars.
Your opinion belongs to the trash compactor.
I said to Corey, this is exactly what happens in Star Wars. And he goes, yeah, but in Star Wars, they stop it, right? And I was like, well, yeah, because they're the heroes and, whatever. He goes, didn't they use a couch? I was like, I don't think there was a couch on that Starship.
In Family Guy Star Wars, they use a couch at one point.
Oh my God, he is something else. I was like, no, they didn't have couches on the Empire's fucking giant starship.
In general,
nice
you don't see a
try.
lot of chairs in like the Empire.
Yeah, no, they're
Yeah.
big into standing.
I was gonna say, you see them all standing in rows on Death Star. Can't they sit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Seems
would think.
rude. The only guy who's got a seat in the
so-
whole place is the Emperor. Not even Darth Vader gets to sit down, unless you're
Well,
in
the
that big
Emperor
conference
is
room.
they do have seats in the conference room, and the people like the pilots sit down in front of their little keyboards,
Yeah.
so they get to sit. But Palpatine gets to sit because he's at least 600 years old. He's got to sit.
That guy's walking in between the stormtroopers and farting and not even knowing he's doing it.
Oh,
He's at
yeah,
that age
yeah.
where he's just like, he's like,
What I think
Did you
is
say
so
something?
crazy, that actor was young enough in the originals that he's still doing them today. I'm like, he hasn't been that old the whole time.
I know we talked about that before because that's blown your mind for years. Ian
Yes.
McDermott, is that his name or something like that?
No, not Ian McDermott. Is it Ian McDermott?
Ian McDiarmid?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's somebody else.
It was close enough.
Yeah. Yeah, just Ben Palpatine the whole time. He was like 30 in the first one or some shit. Crazy. The genius of Lucas. I'm telling you, he had to know. He had to know.
Did you find
I
the
think
ending?
the only
cute,
other thing
though? With the once we're
Dylan,
past
this movie.
go ahead.
No. Please start that again.
Once we're past full horror and we can get to sappy romance, did you find it cute when he's asking her to move in and then she proposes to him?
I'm going to tell you a couple of things about that. Number one, this movie did something I can't stand, which is when it had a fake ending. So you think that they have conquered, they're moving on with their lives, and then he's held hostage again. That pissed me off because I thought we were done. So I was kind of over them being tortured and held captive and fighting with people, and like it just kept happening. So by the time it was over and the got, out of the horror and whatever and we moved on, I was happy. However, I have a really, really hard time dealing with her proposing to him.
Oh my God. Why? It's cute.
I don't think it's cute.
It's cute. It's on the 1 year anniversary of them almost getting murdered. And the whole point is that he started off as the optimist romantic. She started off as the pessimist.
Oh, no,
And
no, I get it.
Also,
You don't have
I
to explain
disagree
it
with
to me.
your fake out ending thing and hating that there's a second ending, because you'd be far more upset, Gab, if it turns out the Hard Eyes Killer is some character we've never seen before and then the movie ends.
No, no, no. I'm referring to in the scene when we find out who the Hard Eyes Killer is. There's a point where am I misremembering this?
You're
I feel like there's
misremembering
a point.
because at the drive-in, they kill the Hard Eyes Killer and they unmask and they're like, I don't know who this guy is. Then things seem to be okay for a bit. He's going to go on the plane. She goes to the airport to save him. We get a great line too. Oh my God, I'm trying to remember. The best friend says, you could be so clueless sometimes. It's one of the 10 things I hate about you. Honestly, you can't let Jay go off to his best friend's wedding, hook up with a bunch of bridesmaids, and move to Notting Hill. This is love. Some kind of wonderful, crazy, stupid love, actually. Don't act like you
that's
don't.
Cute.
I think that's adorable. And we have that moment where she goes to the airport, she hugs the wrong guy, and then she gets called to the church for our real confrontation with the actual Hard Eyes Killers.
Yes, I apologize. I'm misremembering that. I thought that they fought the Hard Eyes Killers and then they were at the ambulance and then he got held hostage again. I'm just mixing up the order in my head.
Correct.
But okay, that's fine. Whatever. I just think that the ending needed one of two things. It either needed them to move in together and TBD on forever, or he needed to just propose to her. I really didn't like that he took out a ring box with a key in it and said, move in with me. And she did him one better. It proposed to him. I didn't like it. Real question. Do you want to be proposed to?
Well, maybe it'd be nice, Gab. Maybe it'd be nice if somebody gave me some flowers sometime. No, I'm just saying, though, I think it's adorable because he's trying not to go too far and make her uncomfortable, that he's proposing they move in together. And she has turned the corner enough that she's full on proposing to spend together forever. It's cute. You're talking about this being a Hallmark romance. It's cute. Come on.
Guess. I actually have a couple friends. They're a couple, and she proposed to him. I really know people that have to.
Unique and cute. Good for them. Did you get him like a big diamond type ring?
No, I think she just got him like a wedding band. I don't know. I'll tell you this, wouldn't be me.
So I'm never going to see Corey come up and show me like a huge ring like, ooh.
No, we did get our wedding bands though, and we do married practice, and we put them on and we're like, look, we're married.
I'm just thinking, now we're married. Now we're not. Now we're married.
It's fun. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't really care for that. I think the romance portion for me, this movie felt a lot like the crappy Hallmark Christmas movies that you watch, where one person is like obsessed with Christmas and the other person is like, I have a corporate job in New York City. I don't have time for Christmas. But now I'm stranded here and I'm going to end up falling in love with you. And it felt like that was the formula with a slasher movie built in. And I didn't really feel like it was unique in that it had something special that these like sort of Hallmarky Christmas movies don't have. Like it felt like the same people who write those Christmas movies were like, well, guys, Christmas is over. What do we got next? And they were like, Valentine's Day. All right, let's use the same formula and make it a Valentine's horror.
Well, here's what I would say. I agree with most of what you're saying because it is a Hallmark romance. And if it was just instead of Christmas, Valentine's Day, this would be a bad movie. But it's that genre bend and genre twist that makes it for me.
What if this is a serious question. What if it was the Christmas killer and he was killing couples on Christmas? nothing else changes, maybe he's like the Santa hat guy instead of the heart eyes guy.
It just doesn't make quite the same sense to me because the whole point is that it's the attack on romance.
Well, plenty of people
I think in
I
many
mean, it could
ways,
be New Year's.
yeah, in many ways you could do something like that. Sure.
So you agree?
No, I'm saying you
No,
could
I
do
think
it.
you do.
I don't think it'd be as good.
Okay. Well, anything else you want to say?
No, let's get to the stuff that we can't debate. Let's get to the facts.
Okay. Thank you.
I want the truth!
Face the facts, ducks.
Facts have no place with an organized religion.
Okay, let's start with our ratings. On the tomato meter, it has a 78%, 141 fresh reviews, and 40 rotten, with an audience score of 76%, an average score of 3.9 out of 5. IMDb, it has a 6 out of 10. The movie was released February 9th, 2025, and it opened in second to Dogman, and ahead of Love Hurts and Mufasa the Lion King. It had a budget of $18 million and grossed $33 million. The critics' consensus, a mixture of gory slasher and sweet rom-com that ingeniously nails both formulas. Hard Eye serves up a bloody Valentine that'll make the heart skip a beat. Some reviews, Payne Robinson from RogerEbert.com gave it 3.5 stars. Hard Eyes is a raving good time. Courtney Howard from Variety, thoroughly self-aware, stocked with self-reflexive gags and gorily orchestrated kills, this genre mashup is endearing with its delightfully zippy charms. It makes us swoon and squirm to equal measure. Nick Shager? Shager? Shager. How would you say it, Gab?
Shager.
Nick Shager from the Daily Beast, a bland stab at genre hybridization whose sole accomplishment is falling flat at everything it tries. Amy Nicholson from the Los Angeles Times, it's got decent gags, middling scares, and a rationale sloppier than two dogs sharing a strand of spaghetti. As date night fare, it'll do. Letterboxd reviews?
Yes.
Cinema Fan 007, I think it's extremely homophobic that Bro didn't kill a single gay couple in this movie. Like, are we not good enough for him?
Fair.
Haley, a Hallmark movie taken over by kinky Scream fans, and I mean that in the best way possible. Geo, finally, a serial killer I'm safe from.
That's funny.
And Bert, oh my god, their love language is murder. Aw, cute.
Sure.
The movie was directed by Josh Rubin, who is from College Humor originally. You've probably seen him in a bunch of their sketches. We see him in the movie actually at the drive-in. He says somebody call 911. He also directed Werewolves Within, Scare Me, and 7 episodes of a series you and I have talked about, Gab, Die Hard.
Oh, yes.
The screenplay is written by Philip Murphy, Christopher Landon, and Michael Kennedy, who also wrote The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, Freaky, Disturbia, and a Christmas horror movie called It's a Wonderful Knife. The movie stars Olivia Holt as Ally McCabe, who you may know from Totally Killer, Cloak and Dagger, and Kickin' It. Mason Gooding is Jay Simmons, who you may know from Y2K, I Want You Back, and Scream 5 and 6. Jordana Brewster as Detective Janine Shaw, who you may know as Mia from the Fast and the Furious franchise, or from Dallas, or the Lethal Weapon show. Devon Sawa, finally, as Detective Zeke Hobbs, who you may know from Casper, Little Giants, and Final Destination. I have only a few fun facts. I wish I had more.
Share.
So, when Monica and Allie shop for clothes, Allie's clothes reference other romantic comedies. Her first outfit with the hat is Stacey Dash's from Clueless. The dress with the collar is Julia Roberts' night outfit from Pretty Woman. And then she and Monica wear the colored dresses from Romy and Michelle's high school reunion. Director Josh Rubin said he wanted all the romantic moments to feel as Nora Ephron as possible, while having the horror moments feel as Wes Craven as possible. The two detectives investigating the Hard Eyes killer are named Hobbs and Shaw, a reference to the Fast and the Furious. The screenwriters confirmed that had always been the case even before Jordana Brewster, who has played a large role in the Fast and the Furious, was brought on. Hobbs speculates that the killer has to be a male, but Shaw tells him that it could equally be a female. It's later revealed she is one of the killers. And Shaw, after being revealed to be one of the killers, talks about how she loved the story of how St. Valentine's lost his head and was killed. Shaw ultimately dies after getting beheaded by the sword on the St. Valentine statue. One or two other things I have here. At the drive-in, the script just had the couple being killed, and director Josh Rubin said it wasn't slasher enough at all, so they added about 10 more kills. It was also his idea to have the monogrammed weaponry, the night vision glowing red heart eyes, and he wanted him to be sort of like what he wished Jason in Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives, could be like, with a campy horror utility belt, which I do think it's cool that he has all his horror weapons.
Yeah.
Sadly, Gab, that's all the facts I've got.
Okay. Well, I guess it's time.
That's right, Gab. It's time for mail.
All right. What do we got?
Mail time! When you control the mail, you control information.
Mom asked me to ask you if there's any mail for us here by mistake.
What?
Well, first, we got a very sick Dylan, so I hope everybody will acknowledge I sound worse only because I'm dying.
We are all very sorry for you.
Thank you. That's all I want is people to feel sorry for me. Okay. So we have a couple comments. First from Legacy on Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Watched this for the first time fully the other week, actually, entirely by coincidence. I'd only ever seen the Tim Burton one because, well, that's the one that came out when I was in elementary school. Had a very good time, of course. Funnily enough, I pointed out to my girlfriend just how much of a piece of shit Grandpa Joe was right before he got up and started dancing. And she had the same adult rewatch realization y'all did in real time.
That is so funny.
Then we have a comment from Audrey on Jurassic Park. This may be in my top fave horror creature features, but Hammond is definitely the ultimate liar and villain here. Also, preposterous is not having seen Jurassic Park as a 90s baby. Shots fired on you, Gab.
That's okay.
I was born around 2 weeks after this came out, and it influenced me a bunch. Not seeing this as the work of enemy action.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I guess who was this comment from?
Audrey.
Yeah, Audrey, I just never got around to it, and I think that we all have our thing, and I was a big Star Wars kid. And so you were hard pressed to get me to really get into anything that's kind of like fantasy outside of Star Wars. So that's my alibi.
We'll see if it's accepted. And this one's a comment from Super Beetle on Willy Wonka. Half of the kids in this movie probably saw their former co-star Gene play an accountant a few years later in the producers and thought that was a worthy career. And they were wrong.
I was gonna say that's so nice, Dylan. He appreciates your craft.
No one appreciates my craft. And we have a comment from Brian Maneely, who was our former guest on Over the Garden Wall and the host of Jump on the Bandwagon. Gene Wilder, the man, the myth, the child assassin.
Yeah.
And we have a comment from Scotty Cameron, which, Scotty, I did just say I'm sick, so I'm going to have to shorten up your message because I took screenshots of people's comments. His took 5 screenshots for me to screenshot the whole thing.
Oh, boy. Scotty, we do love you, but jeez.
We need you to self-edit a little more. The funniest part about Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is that I had heard about the version of the film well before the 2005 readaptation, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Yeah, I saw the 2005 readaptation first. I think I saw previews for the original on the video cassette for How the Grinch Stole Christmas, I want to say. I blame my brother for seeing the Johnny Depp version before Gene Wilder because he was obsessed with the marketing for it and had a chocolate obsession. So a new movie set in a chocolate factory is the kind of movie he'd crave. He wrote off the original because it was old and dumb. He was 5 in 2005 and I was only 7. That puts it into perspective with my brother might have been obsessed with it. I hated the Johnny Depp version even as a kid. It was the, movies can be bad movie for me. It also doesn't help that I have a dairy allergy, and a film about kids dying in a chocolate factory from eating poisoned chocolate is not going to go over well for someone who could actually potentially die from eating chocolate.
Well, I'm sorry. That is bullshit.
He said, okay, my dairy allergy isn't that severe, but you get my point. That's so funny that you interrupted to say that.
Yeah.
I'm not allergic to cocoa, so I can have chocolate as long as it is made without milk, like Oreos, or enjoy life vegan chocolates. However, my peanut allergy, on the other hand, is severe enough that a chocolate with peanut butter inside could kill me.
Scotty, listen, I'm so sorry to hear about your troubles with common allergens, but that has nothing to do with this or the movie.
Okay, I'm now fast forwarding. I'm yada yadaing you, Scotty. I'm sorry. Yada yada. I've been sitting on this for a while. When you tell the listeners that they can recommend movies in the outro, you may get around to it someday. You could also add the bit that the first movie to watch before you die on the list was recommended by a listener. Keep doing that song in the outro. It's funny. I guess he's talking about our Oompa Loompa song. That's not going to continue.
No, that's done.
This novel ran on long enough. Stay yappy, the jackass who picked Vampire's Kiss.
I mean, it's a great movie.
Scotty, you'll always be our OG commenter.
Yep. Amen.
Now we have a message from Kyle.
Oh, hi, Kyle.
And let me know if you can hear it.
Gab, Dylan, hello. I enjoyed your conversation on Willy Wonka. My brain wants to call it Charlie, but that's probably just because Melody's been reading the book. I'm shocked this didn't come up in conversation, but the most obvious question to ask after viewing that film, what is your favorite chocolate bar? Is there one in the States that maybe I don't have up here in Canada? I'm really curious. I know, Gab, you're obviously a fitness person, but do you indulge occasionally in chocolat? Really curious to hear what you guys have to say. Continue the great work. Bye.
Gab, do you indulge in chocolat?
You know, Dylan, I do, and I love it. Funny that Kyle brings that up because we did talk about this offline because as I started watching the movie and the intro scene comes on with the chocolate being made, I texted you and said, true or false, X is your favorite movie candy. I'm going to let you share it.
Yes, he specifically said chocolate bar though, so I'm not going to say that.
Oh, chocolate bar. You know,
right? Should I replay it? Or I'm pretty sure.
No. He said chocolate bar, but I just feel like that's putting a ceiling on the dreams that we're allowed to have here.
But you can answer both if you'd like to.
So here's the thing. I have 3 that are my absolute favorites, and I'm going to give them to you in from third place, bronze medal to gold medal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Bronze medal is going to be a Take 5 bar.
Oh, I like
pretzel,
Take 5.
caramel, chocolate. It's got everything. I'm a big chocolate covered pretzel girl, but this is technically a candy bar. Silver medal, Kit Kat. Fuck me up with a Kit Kat bar.
Kit Kat would be in my Mount Rushmore as well.
Now, my number 1 is a bit of a hot take. Also, I'm curious as to whether or not you think it's a candy bar. My absolute favorite of all time. I will eat it anytime I have an opportunity. Sometimes I leave my apartment and walk to the bodega to buy 2 of them. One I eat immediately, one I put in the freezer for tomorrow, and that is a York peppermint patty.
The York peppermint patty does nothing for me. I don't like the mint with chocolate.
Oh, Dylan, you don't like junior mints?
I'm not against them, but I've never gone out of my way to get them. You know what I mean?
Oh my God. Anytime I have a minor inconvenience, I'm like, I need a peppermint patty. So
really,
good.
That's your number 1.
That's my number 1. And it's not for the glory.
I don't think I'd consider that a chocolate bar.
Well, I'm imagining the big ones are like this big. You know what I mean?
True.
Like they're pretty hefty.
They're large.
Yeah, but they're so good.
Quite large, yes.
Yes, they're so good. It really hits the spot. I love a mint chocolate. And they're light and they're like kind of low in fat. They're not like like you can still hit your macros when you have one. Big fan. Yeah. How about you?
I guess if
I know the answer, by the way.
You don't know the answer. You know the
I know
answer
what
for
number
my
1
movie
is.
candy for sure.
No, I know what number 1 is.
Do you? We'll see. So if I was doing like a 3-1, Kit Kat would be on there for me, probably a 3.
Bronze?
Yeah.
Okay.
Twix is probably a 2 for me. I love a Twix.
Okay. I still think I'm right. I think I know what number 1 is.
Number 1, you can't be chocolate and peanuts. I think I gotta go with Mr. Goodbar.
Oh, that was not what I was thinking at all.
Yeah, I love a Mr. Goodbar.
Are you kidding me? That's the most like waspy, like Anglo-Saxon answer I've ever heard.
I'm sorry to disappoint you that I'm such a Gentile. I love a good
Oh my God.
Mr. Goodbar. Why? What did you think I was going to say?
I thought you were going to say Butterfinger.
I do not even like a Butterfinger.
You did when we were children.
Liar!
Yeah, I'm telling you, you did when we were kids. Unless Zach liked them particularly.
Zach likes them more than I do, I would think. I will say, I thought you were going to say Crunch Bar because my favorite movie snack is a Bunch of Crunch. I love the mix of the Bunch of Crunch and the popcorn.
Yeah.
Don't like a Crunch Bar, though. They're for some reason not the same.
Yeah. Well, anything mixed
I prefer a
with
Crackle
popcorn.
Bar to a Crunch Bar.
Wow, you're like an 80-year-old woman.
Hey, I just want to talk about it. You didn't even know the name of your third favorite candy, motherfucker.
Hey, we cut that part out.
I had to tell you the name, and then you had to spend 5 minutes researching it. But we cut.
Well, because it's
see what you've done
Reese's.
to us, Kyle.
All right, listen. Let's go back and talk about this movie I really liked.
Yeah, I thought we had something else to say. Okay, we can do that.
Do or do not. There is no try.
The guilty will be punished.
Sentence is death.
Time for the least surprising verdicts of 2026.
Well, it's your pick, so look me in the eyes and tell me you think this was good.
I do think this is good. I think if you like horror movies and you like campy horror movies and rom-coms, I think it's a cute blend of the two. I literally could picture a couple going to the movie theater where maybe you got a boyfriend who likes horror and a girlfriend who likes rom-coms, and they both said, we'll each get half of what we want. Neither one of them got a full portion, but they each got a half of what they want. And do I think it's like a great movie? No. Do I even think it's really watch where you die? Probably not. But I had fun with it, and I thought it really fit the theme of Valentine's Day. So I like it. I like Mason Gooding. I think hopefully we see him in more things to come. Son of Cuba Gooba. And
he's son of Cuba Gooba?
Yeah, of course. He's the son of Cuba Gooding Jr.
That makes so much sense.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. You know what's funny? It never occurred to me that his last name is Gooding and not Gooding Jr.
You don't inherit the junior when you're born. Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy. Dylan, so what I am hearing is that this is a movie that you kind of enjoyed, you thought it was kind of cool, and you know it's not good. So before you go and put your name on this as a movie to watch before you die, a must watch in your life.
First of all,
look at the vein in my neck right now.
I wonder which way she's going to go. I saw this in the theater last year and I enjoyed it. I had a good time with it. And watching it again, I still enjoyed it and had a good time with it. Listen, is this a movie watch before you die that you got to see? No, but you know, if you like horror, you like rom-com, it's cute. It was fun.
Okay.
I just think it's neat, as Mark Simpson would say. It's a no.
Okay. I would actually like to nominate this as the worst movie we've ever done on the podcast.
No,
yes.
We've done some stinkers.
Yes.
This is better than the Lizzie McGuire movie, Gab.
No, it's not.
This is far closer to what dreams are made of than that shit was.
No, that was better than this. Dylan, this was one of those movies where it wasn't even bad enough that you're like, wow, this sucks. It was like just good enough to be like, okay, like I'm getting that this is a movie, but like, okay, it was so bad. It's actually phenomenal how they made an hour and 36 minutes feel like 3 hours and 27 minutes.
Did Corey have fun with it?
It was, no, he hated it more than I did.
I'll say, I literally texted you last week. Audience, you listen to me. I texted her last week and said, can you think of any other like Valentine's Day specific movies? And she just started naming like 500 Days of Summer or 10 Things I Hate About You. And I was like, those aren't directly Valentine's Day. And I was like, I want something that literally is Valentine's Day. And I wasn't going to do that ensemble piece of crap. And I did this because I thought it was fun.
As the credits roll,
I 100%
Corey goes,
feel like the Marge Simpson, I just think it's neat thing. I thought it was neat.
It's terrible. As the credits rolled, Corey goes, you guys couldn't have done like Crazy Stupid Love?
No, it's not Valentine's Day. I'm smirking and I feel like I can see that Gab this whole time has been, she literally was just pointing out a neck vein before. I'm sorry. I texted her yesterday. She goes, I'm going to watch this movie. Anything I need to know? And I was like, have fun.
Yeah, we didn't. And I will tell you this, today, when we were going through our like crazy busy day and talking about like, oh, like today is just like a really busy day for us. We were like, but at least we don't have to watch that movie.
I was like, that Hard Ass movie sucked, and I got the fucking Epstein files going on.
And the Epstein files. So this is what I'm going to tell you. I feel much better about the fact that you also said no, because I was really going to have to press you to give me good reason why this is a movie that people need to watch before they die. And listen, it's okay to watch a movie and be like, you know what, this isn't as good as I thought, or this doesn't belong in the pantheon of movies to watch before you die. But I'm just glad that you admitted that to yourself, because it wasn't good. We love those Christmas movies. We love them. This wasn't it didn't work.
Listen, I'm absolutely aware that like movies that we say, especially that you and I agree upon, are movies that we're like, no, anybody should see this movie. Like anybody can watch this movie. I think this movie is a very niche thing that like, if you're a horror fan and you can enjoy a rom-com, you'll find it cute, the mix of the two. And I get it. Like, I know horror is not a huge, really your thing. sometimes you take a swing and you miss, you know? It happens. Yeah.
Yeah. And listen, I'll give you this. We were very hard pressed to come up with another Valentine's Day movie. So, it's fine. But please, never again.
This was like the chalk heart candy of movies. It was very specifically built for when we're releasing this. You wouldn't have it any other day.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that makes sense. Oh God, it was just like, what a fucking waste. Like, it was, I hated it.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't even like there was a good twist. It wasn't like particularly interesting visually. I wasn't like super invested in what was going to happen. And honestly, I could have been like, well, at least I was invested in their relationship. And then she proposed to him, and I was like, oh my God, this is so bad.
I do think their chemistry is so cute though, and that kept me like in the movie.
Yeah, I mean, it was cute. Listen, he was great. I'm actually shocked. Isn't Cuba Gooba in some hot water?
I think he might be in jail.
Is he in the Epstein files, you think?
No, I think he just sucks. By the way, Hard Eyes 2, they've already written a script for, so we might get a Hard Eyes 2. And maybe I'll force
next
you to
year,
watch that
hopefully,
too.
it'll be my pick.
Is Cuba Gooding Jr. in jail? Pled guilty, reached a plea deal that did not require time in jail.
Guilty of what?
Pled guilty to forcibly touching a woman at a New York nightclub in 2018, telling the judge he kissed the waitress on her lips without her consent, and admitted to 2 other alleged incidents of non-consensual contact in October of 2018 and June of 2019.
Sounds like Epstein files stuff to me.
We got this Cuba Gooding stuff and the Epstein files. It's been a bad day for Mason Gooding.
Yeah, terrible day for Mason Gooding.
And
he's in this horrible movie.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
On February 26, 2024, Cuba Gooding Jr. was mentioned as a lawsuit brought against P. Diddy.
Whoa, double Epstein files.
Alleging that Gooding had groped and fondled music producer Ronnie Jones non-consensually. Well, that's not great.
Wow.
Yeah. Don't expect Snow Dogs 2 anytime soon, people. Yeah, but Mason Gooding, we like him. He's going to be in Scream 7.
Yep, and I won't see it. So listen, I think this was dog shit. I think you are crazy, and I'm so glad you said no because it's the only redeemable thing about this episode.
I knew it wasn't going to re-die, but I think it's fun for a very specific subset of people.
Sure. And if that's you, go to town. But let's not give this movie any more of our viewership or our money. I can't support it.
Well, I also did wonder because you did a College Humor thing back in the day. Do you recognize like the director? Do you know this dude?
He doesn't look familiar to me. No, but it was many years ago.
That's true. But he was big on College Humor for a while.
Yeah.
So, like, if you know their sketches,
I did.
You'd recognize him.
Yeah. I did. He wasn't in my sketch.
No, he was not. Your sketch, which was just teenage girls. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the Epstein files.
And the Epstein files. Yeah. Listen, I didn't appreciate this, and I'd like my 90 minutes back. But otherwise, I still love you.
Thank you. I love you too. Thank you for still loving me after having to watch Hard Eyes.
Yeah. All right. Should I say the things we say?
Please.
Okay. Listener, if you've made it this far, thank you. Please let us know if you agree, disagree, if you have another movie that you'd like for us to review, if you have the access to a computer. You can
let us know if you have access to a computer. Yeah.
If you have. So I told you Corey and I are watching Catfish, right, from the beginning. And there are so many people who are like, yeah, he doesn't have a phone. And as the seasons go on, it becomes more and more unbelievable that somebody doesn't have a phone. But it does feel like if you have access to a computer, please send us an email at movies-to-watch-before-you-die@gmail.com. You can send us a voice note or some other form of communication. We're open to all platforms. In the link tree below, you will find a link to our friends at the podcast Hall of Pods.
Nailed it.
Yep. You'll also find a link to our store where you can buy some cool merch. Corey would like a shirt, by the way. He keeps saying he wants a shirt. So send me if you can send me this.
We'll order a shirt for Corey.
Thank you. You can also find my Venmo where you can send me money. You can find some social media stuff. And listen, at the end of the day, we just want you to be happy.
Can't we just be happy? And also, to talk about other bullshit garbage excuse, everybody who has a phone, your camera works on your phone. Why are you lying to people?
Yeah, your camera isn't broken. If your camera's broken, you go to the Apple store, you get it fixed real quick.
We all know you're just 60 and not the gender you say you are.
Yeah, and that's cool, but like, just be honest about it. And lastly, just, let us know that you're marked safe from anybody in the Epstein files.
And from the Hard Eyes Killer.
And the Hard Eyes Killer. Have a great Valentine's Day. And the fucking movie. Stay far away from the movie. Listen, have a good Valentine's Day. If you're single, get out there and just don't catfish people.
You're tall and ripped and perfectly capable of defending yourself.
Allie, I really appreciate the compliments, especially coming from you. But right now is not the time, okay? These muscles were not made for violence. They're for cuddling.